Here with a look at Caspa. We're going to take a look at the rest of the market here. You see Bitcoin here broke this overhead resistance. This is on a daily chart. You can see this overhead resistance right here, and we have gotten a pretty nice break here. It's up what, 3 grand for the day, $3,873, $3,806 as I make the video. All right, so nice. Looks like a wave 3 starting here. Probably heading up towards that 618, 702, I would imagine, right up into this area. It's going to tell a lot up here, everybody. I mean, a lot, right? Once it gets up, right up into this zone right here, all right, that is going to tell everything. Whether this is a retracement, we're still going to have our alt season, no doubt about it. But once it gets up into here, 98, roughly 96 to 99,000. It's going to tell a lot. So either we have a 5 wave running up here, like so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this turns out to be a big ABC pattern, or we're going to run 5 waves up here, have a retracement and keep going up towards 130 would be that next target area. So keep a super close eye on this. You can also see down here, it's been maybe a week and a half since I did videos or so, most of this gap is closed. Look at that, all the way down to there, and that is all that's left of that thing. If you drag it out here, I have a hard time dragging it out there, it got so small. Let's drag it out here. Alright, not much left. From 73.8, it came down. It came down a little bit lower than that. Came down to 74.4. All right, so just about closed that up, and that's probably good enough. I'm probably not going to get any more out of that. But if you count these waves on here, it makes me a little nervous, right? You can see it's on a monthly chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 waves. And then normally, A, B, C, right? And that during that ABC is when you'll see our alt season really take off. But I hate to be a downer here, but you got 5 waves. I mean, you got 5 waves here. So what happens now? If we bust up through here, that's awesome. Maybe we had our corrective structure in here. Let me see. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, you can see 5 waves down in here. You had definitely a corrective move in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But is that good enough, or is that just your A wave? That's what the whole question's going to be. And you have waves inside of waves, right? A, B, C. We'll see what happens with this, okay? But right up here, that's going to be a huge answering right up in here, whether it gets up through here or not. All right, so 99,000, that's the number we need to get through, and it has to be a closing candle. I mean, it can have wicks up through there, and it probably will. It'll want to pull you in. It'll want to get you to buy. It'll want, the altcoins, I could, especially once this goes in, starts that C wave, I would imagine they will be absolutely flying, for sure. All right, so to definitely have that alt season coming here. Bitcoin dominance, take a look at it. Let's take a look here. I ended up running into my house like a moron, hit my hip on the door handle, and let me tell you something. You talk about pain, it put me on the floor, man. That was definitely super painful right before I started this video. I'm still feeling it. Definitely hurt, no question about it. Don't know if you ever did that, but my wife had shoes behind the door, and that the door ended up not giving and boy, hit my hip right off that sucker. Now, if this wave 3, if that ends up being, legit here, obviously it must be. We're getting another push up here. Then this could push up a little bit higher, right? And if we go off that this top here, the 1618, we'll put this thing up at roughly close to 67%. Yeah, boy, that thing still hurts. Man, oh man, every time I take a breath, I hope it didn't crack a hip or something. That would really be a bummer. But if you look at the RSIs on this thing, like the weekly, it's right near the top. Look at this monthly. You have bearish divergence on this thing. Well, not anymore. Look at that. Made a higher high here now. You did have bearish divergence on it. That monthly. Let's look at the daily. Got to be getting stretched. Yeah, the daily's about rolling over. You do got bearish divergence on the daily. At this high, and a lower high over here, on divergence. Same area of this high, and obviously a higher high. So getting some bearish divergence on the daily here. We look at wave counts in here. This is our 5th wave. Kind of messy, isn't it? On a daily, on the weekly, you can count them out pretty nicely, for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and your 5th wave. All right, so hopefully this is over soon, and we can get this this alt season going. That's what everybody's waiting for, right? And the market is going to make you want to sell. It's going to beat you down. That's what it's good at. Always has been, right? And on this, hold on a second. Let's look at that. Okay, on the weekly, you do have some bearish divergence over here. This is a lower high. You got this high here. Lower high on the dominance here. You can see right across here. A little bit bearish, right? Show you what I'm looking at right there. This here. These have been lower highs, and there were higher highs on here. So the weekly does have some bearish divergence, and that monthly did make a higher high on here. You can see. Bring this down here. It's poked up through there. All right, so we'll have to keep an eye on this, but got to be getting stretched out, man. This got to be getting near an end. I mean, dominance. You could just go back through history. Every single time it's gotten up, towards that 618, 702. We're up through the 702 now. That's hard to believe, but we are. And we've had our alt seasons every single time right here. Right up in here, right here. Alt season right through here. Right up here, alt season here. You would expect the same. Here, alt season. You'd expect the same exact thing to happen, and that's what we're waiting for. All right, and every time we're down through here is a bear market, down through here. Then Bitcoin building up, Bitcoin running, and alt season. So that's all we're waiting for here, and that is obviously the big thing right now. The Dow Jones and everything, you talk about holding on by a hair. It's amazing how stuff comes out right when you need it. Look at this thing. Broke through that support. Right there. Broke through that support. Ended up being a back test over here on this previous high. Alright, and every time it takes out a high, it comes back to retest it. Right over here. Okay. Ended up breaking through, coming back and retesting the previous high there. Broke through, came back, retested this previous high. So the Dow looking all right. This is up in here where we're going to start wondering, right? That's up at the retracement, 618702. DXY is at 98.36 on the monthly. You can see this thing has been dropping. Got this support. Gonna want to see break here, and I think this support breaks on this thing. I think the market is really going to take off. It's probably out here a little bit more, maybe. Pull this in a bit. Let's get this as good as we can, because this is going to be pretty critical also. Man, oh man, I really, that thing is sore. Man, oh man. Let's take a minute on this. This ABC in here, that's what it looks like, don't it? Hit a 702 up here, AB. Oh boy, be very, very, very close to breaking if it finishes this out. Looks like an ABC to me. All right, come down through the gold. That's another one, down 44 bucks today, but look at it on the monthly. Did that fifth wave up here. You can see right there, you can see the waves. Wow, unbelievable, right? And this thing really pushed up there. Back off of, geez, I remember back in here, when was this? Back somewhere through here, I was looking into buying a mine out in California, a gold mine. Father and son type deal. His father ended up passing away. He didn't want nothing to do with it, and ended up almost going in and taking it over. You know, wish I would have now. Who would have guessed, right? It's when gold, it was around 200 or something an ounce at the time, so would have had to been, not that far back. Had to been somewhere through here. Yeah, somewhere through here. I'd imagine early 2000s, somewhere right around there. Ended up calling the guy and talking to him about it. Was going to make a trip out there and take a look at it, but you can see. This thing's done a full 4.236. 2953 was the full extension, and look at that, poked right up through there. So, is that it for gold or not? You know, I mean, everything is. We're going to be heading into another crisis here pretty soon. You know, as far as financial stuff goes. Or my buddy, man, he owns a pile of silver. I told him not too long ago he should think about dumping it right when it got up into this 618702, right up towards it, right up here. You know, still in a pretty good sell zone, I think. You know, of course, who knows? You know, I'm not financial advice at all. That's for sure. But will it ever hit that $50 an ounce again? I don't know. It's up there pretty good right now. You know, you got the RSIs on it. Look at the monthly. Just completely stretched out, bearish divergence on the monthly, the weekly. It's yeah. Look, lower highs on here. Yeah, bearish divergence. Got this high, lower high, then a lower high, and it's just trying to roll right over here on the weekly. So, if you own silver, you know, might want to. I don't know. You know, that's your call. You could use a trend line and say, well. You know, I'll wait and see if the trend line breaks or not. You know, you got one coming up through. Something to definitely keep an eye on, because you know, loses trend right there. Give you a good idea that it's probably coming down a lot more, right? Got very close to that 618 up here, 34.90, right around 34, almost 35 bucks right there. Very, very close. All right, the S&P 500, all these. They are just all just so overstretched. Look, it's done a full 4.236. Look at that drop on the monthly since it broke that trend line. You know, looks like another wave coming up though. Quite honestly, you can pretty obvious really. You got one. Looks like it's got one more push. 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like one more push. We'll keep this over here. We don't look at it very often, but we're definitely going to come back to this. It has another push left in it. The S&P 500 and about the NASDAQ. You know, we used to look at this stuff a lot, and it's super, super important to keep an eye on. It looks like the same thing, really. Oh yeah, I still have this mapped out for a fifth wave yet in the NASDAQ. So maybe the Dow Jones has another. It's pretty obvious, right? You got wave 1, 2, wave 4 pullback. You know, right down here. That's probably at bottom. Came back and retested this top over here perfectly. Look at that, perfect. This top right here came back and tapped it. You know, your prior high, breakout, retest, bounce, right? So at least one more push in the NASDAQ and the S&P. Did the Dow have the same setup here? Let's look. Can't remember by looking at it. Yeah, probably one more wave in it too, I would imagine. You know, looks like a 5 here also probably. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll move this to the side. That's what it's looking like. Then after that, what happens? You know, I mean, it's could get a little scary. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? But yeah, getting pretty crazy. Bitcoin, like I said, like I showed you, we got them 5 waves on this. This is where coming up into this retracement, guys. That is where we're going to really want to pay attention. You know, no question about it. The retracement here is going to be everything. That's where you're really going to want to pay attention to Bitcoin. This 5 waves has me a little bit, definitely a little nervous. You know, unless we don't count this one. But I've been through this too. You know, wave 3 cannot be your shortest. You know, wave 1 would be if it was like this. Wave 3, well, it might be close, right? 4 and 5. I mean, you could have that going on. We'll see. Once we, you know, that 99,000, you know, that's going to have to break. That's going to have to be a breaker here. Let's go over to Caspa. Let's look at the crypto bubbles here real quick too. XRP, man, oh man, tried to catch that yesterday. Missed 2 entries on it, and it ended up breaking out. Look at these things. Beautiful. Look at Caspa right there, up 11.9. Market cap 2.43. 24-hour volume looks great, 143 million. Up 2 spots to number 39. That's awesome. You know, I was telling you about XRP, but look at this. This would have been great to catch a long on, and I tried 2 entries I put out in Discord. Feel bad because neither of them worked out, but what are you going to do? You know, you cannot get them all, that's for sure. But this one would have been nice to get. Look at this. Just getting that pop now. Look at it. Breaking this upper resistance here. XRP's got a heck of a run coming, guys. It's heading up towards $4. I mean, if you hold XRP, you probably want to see this, right? Let's take a measurement on this. Right, and we'll be conservative. We'll go in here. You know, move it over to the breakout area. Where's that put you? 350. You know, 350. Where we at now? 216. You know, so this could end up. You know, I tried getting that pullback 2 times yesterday. I knew this thing was gonna break. I knew it. You know, I knew it. This is a 4-hour chart. Wish I would have caught this break. I tried 2 times to get it, because what this is, if you can see it as good as I can see it right here, pretty obvious. You know, look at that chart a second. This down here at the lower end, you know, you can see right here. You got a 1, 2. This is going to be a 3rd wave right here, and it is going to run. You know, it should run pretty hard. But I tried to get the pullback in both of them to catch this move out of here. Now, if I'm still going to be trying to catch, hopefully, a retest. You know, hoping to see it after it. You know, this should be a 3rd wave. Probably working on a 4 now. Was hoping to get a retest off this line, maybe, if we're lucky. You know, and then go. We'll see what happens. And on the hourly, you know, right here, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, then hopefully we get some kind of maybe ABC down. But on the pullback here is where I'd like to get it. You know, Not sure if you're in Discord and you got this. Let me know. I'm curious if anybody did. This is gonna be a big move, man. This is gonna be a real good one to get, especially on leverage. I mean, that's if I would have put $100 on that and got it, that $100 would have turned into 6,000. You know, it's up towards the 618. That's what you'd be looking for. You know, at least for an exit. Look at this thing. Let's go. Let's back on the 12-hour here. You know, take a fib and go off the top of this. You know, you'd be looking at least to the 618 here, up towards 278. You know, you imagine turning $100 into $6,000. That's incredible, right? But that's what it would have been. You know, of course, I had pretty high leverage on that, but still, it. Let me know if you got it. If you want to join the Discord, sign up for level 3 membership. That gets you 10 hours of videos to teach you how to start charting like this, and it gets you a link to our Discord. We have about 178, I believe, members in there now. It's $15, $15. Especially, we got an alt season coming, guys. There's going to be a pile of money made to be with leverage, a pile of money. So if that interests you, come and sign up. We would love to have you. Got a lot of really great traders in there. Really, really great traders. Damien's been doing a lot, pretty well. Mark kills it, man. Mark's great. Got some really good traders. Go on over and join us. Like I said, it's $15. That's it, man. You can make that back in no time. All right. Everything is looking fantastic. Last hour. There you go. Stacks. Pepe. Fetch is another one that's going to really take off here pretty soon. For the week, yeah, even looking good on the week. Look at this. Look at Tal, 42. There's Fetch, 33. Fetch, at that big wedge that's breaking out of. So, yeah, another H bar. I'm sorry, H bar, not Fetch. H bar. H bar is the next one that's really going to go. You know, if you're into leverage and stuff, let me show you real quick. H bar. This is just a little bit. You know, you get all this over in the Discord. You know, save this for my Discord people. But just to give you an idea, look what we got going on here. Look at the size of this wedge, and look at it. Hedera is just starting. Once it takes out this right here, it's just about ready to do it. Once it takes out that level, this thing should really start tearing. And once again, what do you got? You can see it just like XRP. Same exact setup. 1, 2, wave 3. Wave 3 starting here. Yeah. That's what I put over in Discord a couple days ago, was this. So I'm sure somebody over there got it, but that's the next one to really make some ground here is H bar. All right, let's go over here to see the crypto bubbles, right? Looks nice, looks great. Let's take one quick look. I'm curious. So the top 100 are up 5.3%. The top 1 to 200 up. Everything is up at least 4%. So looks very, very good. Looking great out there. All right, let's go over to Caspa, because that's another one that's looking very, very good. Caspa's looking great. Let's get up here. I got too much stuff in there. Caspa dominance. Where's it at? Bouncing off the bottom. Look at that bounce. That's on a monthly. On a weekly. Look at that. Nice double bottom. Boom, boom. Double bottom right down here. You got one here. You got one here. Double bottom. Beautiful. Excuse me. Looks good. Definitely looks good. Broke that resistance. You had a resistance line down through here. Right down through here. Yeah, could have had it right there. That's probably where it was. Alright, so getting the break of dominance, starting to run out, looking great. Kaspa versus Bitcoin, same thing. There you go. double bottom, boom, boom, you got the break. Here it goes, Caspa versus Bitcoin. See, that's what I mean. These things are going to start running against Bitcoin now. You're going to see all these cryptos. You know, if you look at the Injective versus Bitcoin or HBAR versus Bitcoin, all the cryptos are going to start taking off now because the alt season is coming. And I get sick and tired of saying it, and I'm sure you guys get sick of hearing it. You're probably like, oh, bullshit. You don't know what you're talking about, but I'm telling you, it's coming. All right? So's Christmas, right? You get the break of this resistance coming down through here, and that's when it's really going to make some traction for sure. We're definitely, you know, right up into here. Get up into this point and break. That's when you're going to get them big, huge candles. All right, Caspa. The chart had this fallen wedge, and we got the breakout of that wedge. Obviously, we're going to look at some targets here in a second. Let's go over to the Block Explorer here on Caspa. All right, and if you would hit that like and subscribe, I would appreciate that very, very much, guys. I'm a small YouTuber. Every one of you guys out there, I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for being a subscriber, and I love you for it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And how's it going, Jimmy? I haven't talked to you for a while, buddy. That's my friend. He's a Kaspa whale. Lives over in Europe. Really great friend and a good friend of the channel. He watches the channel a lot. So here we go. Let's take a look at the top addresses. See what's going on with the whales. They adding, they selling, they dropping, they buying, they holding. What's going on over here, right? Let's see. Top 1,000 addresses own 40, almost, oh, whoa, that went up a lot, didn't it? Look at that. That was the 40 something. It's gone up to 57.5% of the circulating supply now. The top 1,000 addresses. Wow. Okay. So the last 30 days, you got that one Aquaman. That's an exchange. That's MEXC. All right. Humpbacks, the last 30 days you're down 2, last 90 days plus 4. All right, lost 2 whales in the last 24 hours. All right, so we've added 10, the rest of them are all green. Last 7 days down 1 whale, the rest is all green. All right, so looking pretty good there. If you take a look at the let's take a look at the top addresses once, because I think it's MEXC is the Aquaman. Yeah, right up here, MEXC wallet. 24-hour change down 2.3 million. It's 221,000 bucks. That's going to turn out to be a major steal. You know, 2.3 million Caspa for a couple $100,000. You know, you'll look back on this in 5 years and say, wow, was that a steal, right? Go down through here. This one is probably a Caspa wallet right here, $65 million. The one Aquaman is 96 million. The Uphold wallet holds 50 million. The Gate 45 million. Then you got probably some Caspa wallets through here. You know, mining. Some of them, one of these are for the miners, I'm sure. Then you got a Bybit and a BitGet wallet. You come over here and you're probably starting to get into personal holdings now. You know, this one's down 4.6 million Caspa the last 24 hours. Let's take a look. Humpback whale, 12.5 million token holdings, 22 tokens. Let's see what they hold. Popcat, these are all Caspa tokens, I believe, right? I believe so. That's what they look like. So could be another Caspa wallet. Sent 1.5 million Caspa February 18th, April. Okay, so it was 2 months in between transactions here. Minus 4.6 million Caspa on April 22nd. The one last transaction before that was February 18th for 1.5 million. So 4.6 million. Looks like they Took a little bit of money, 430 grand. If we go back here, I think you can look at every single transaction through there. Let's go back here a second. I'd like to see a personal wallet, you know. You kind of know the ones that are Caspa wallets because let's see here. Here's Dagnite Protocol, Rust Fund. That's a Caspa wallet. Let's see if this is a personal wallet. 6 million, 8 tokens. There we go. Yeah, could be a dev, a developer, or one of the owners of Caspa here. It's hard to say, but it's cool. You can dig in. You can go over here at Caspa, FYI, Caspa.fyi, and you can check it out yourself and take a look at these. All right, now, last video we did, we talked about Caspa taking out this high right here, right here, and that would, you know, prove to me that a bottom was more likely in. It took out that high and it's busted right up through there. And with Caspa, along with a lot of other stuff, you can see here, you got a 1, 2, should be working a 3, 4, 5. All right, heading up towards 618702. All right, now if we put a Fibonacci on here, yeah, let's go off this high right here. Okay, this would be the first area targets I would be watching for, right up towards 11.7 to 12.6. Right up into this box, because I don't know, you know, it's been over a week since I did my last videos. You know, we start getting some price action, I will start doing them more. Was doing them daily for a long time. Start getting some movement in the market, you know, I'll start doing them a lot more. Right, just got a little bit stale there, you know, and you know, take the measured move of this wedge. Let's take the width of this wedge and put it up here. Yeah, it's pretty close to the same thing. Pull this over towards breakout. Yeah, put you right up towards that 618702. Right, so I would imagine it's heading there, 11.7 to 12.6. That would be the first 5 waves, then a corrective structure, and we'll see what happens. Right, this is where we would ultimately like to be heading up towards that 22. But once if we get through this first area, 12.6, then I would be then we got higher targets to look out for. Right, would move this up. Then our box would be up at 13.7 to 14.8. You know, and then we get through there, then we're looking 27 cents, you know, towards there. The RSIs, the daily, getting a little stretched out here, right? That daily is starting to roll over a little bit. You can see here, getting a little high, right? So you're going to want to see this wave 3 push up, and then the daily will start correcting. We'll get our 4th wave pullback, and then a 5th wave up. The weekly, oh man, the weekly has just started, right? Monthly, beautiful. Looks absolutely perfect, right? I mean, it really does. I just see us heading, you know, up through this area. You know, on a monthly, doesn't look like a whole lot on a monthly, does it? You know, we get up to the retracement levels for this whole chart. You know, where are we at down there? Oh, right down there, right about there. Oops, sorry about that. Right about there. All right. So up this whole move, you know, I would expect us at least get back up 14.8, 16 cents. You know, and then we get through there. Then we're looking up 30-cent area. All right, but we got some work to do first. Let's keep an eye on the goal, the first set of goals here, right? Our first targets, which right down here, 11.8 to 12.5. Okay, that's our first set of targets. We'll keep an eye on them first and see what happens here, and we will put this bib up here, but that's where I would be expecting Caspa to be heading to within the next few days, up towards this area. All right, have a great day, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe. Come join us in Discord. We would love to have you. There's a link for Weeks in the description of the video. If you're looking for a great place to leverage trade, you'll love it. Come over there and sign up with us. Everybody over in Discord uses it. It's free to sign up, no KYC, nothing like that. And there's a link in the description of the video. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.